Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the little intro video with today's lens in question, the Sony 18-105 f4 power zoom G lens. So let's start with some pros of the lens. I mean, 18-105mm, absolutely incredible focal length. Pretty much do any single scenario you want, whether you're out doing some landscape stuff at 18mm, you've got your portraits at 50, or even a bit of wildlife type photography at 105. It really does have pretty much all bases covered. With a full frame equivalence of 27-157.5mm, along with the constant f4 aperture across the full zoom range, that really makes it fantastic for video. No matter what you're doing, whether you're slowly zooming in, zooming out, you're going to keep that constant aperture. It's not going to ruin any of your settings and it's still going to look fantastic. Another great feature of this lens is the internal zoom. So if you're to mount this lens on a gimbal, there's no additional moving parts inwards or out of the actual size of the lens. So once you balance this once, you're good to go. You've also got optical steady shot built in, so the OSS, just to take out those hand jitters when you're vlogging, etc. So if you don't want to use a gimbal, you can just use a tripod or handheld, whatever you're using, and it should take out those little micro jitters for you, which you can see if you're not using a lens with any stabilization or a camera with stabilization, and it will just make that footage look that little bit better. The lens has great build quality, it's not too heavy, everything is nice and smooth moving, there's no issues there. The power zoom rocker is nice and smooth as well, no issues with that. Great build quality, silent autofocus. It's just a great, I'd say, run and gun lens. If you don't know what lens you need to take, you're not sure on what focal length you're going to need, you've got it all in this guy. If we take a look at size comparison compared to the Sigma 16mm, it's not that much bigger or heavier, but for many people can offer a lot more to them personally because of the additional range it offers. One thing I'm a little bit disappointed with is the minimal focus distance. At 18mm, it's 0.45 of a meter, 45 centimeters, where let's say the Sigma 16mm that I'm shooting on, I believe is 0.25 or 0.3, so you can get a lot closer. And at the wide end it is 95, so it's almost a meter focal distance. So in terms of macro capability, this lens really doesn't have it. You can't really get close up to a subject when zoomed out or zoomed in and get a nice auto or get a nice focused shot. It's just not going to do it. I think it's a great video lens, not so much for photos at f4. It's quite sharp in the middle, soft in the corners. You've got to step it down to f8 really. Again, if you take any of the Sigma primes, by the time you step down to sort of f4, which is where this lens sort of starts, it looks super sharp really across the image. So if you can get away with it, I wouldn't use it for photography. Also, another thing I've noticed, which is a bit of an annoyance to me, I don't think anyone else has noticed it. With this being a power zoom, if you've set up your composition, your shot, you've got it where you want it, you've zoomed it into say 70mm, then you leave it, so you turn the camera off and you go make a cup of tea, you go do something else, you come back. When you turn it on, the lens resets itself to 18mm every time. So the first couple of times I was thinking, oh, where did I leave it? So I had to kind of find it again. I mean, after that, you can either write it down, memorize it. It's just a small little niggle I had with this lens, which no one else has mentioned really. So with this lens only being f4, low light capability is not great. Also wide open, your subject separation, your bokeh is not fantastic either until you zoom in a little bit, and then obviously we start to get a bit more separation. Wide open, it's not that great really, but again, that's more a photography type thing. I think for video, the lens looks fantastic. So what we'll do now is we'll do a couple of outside tests. We'll do a low light test, we'll do low light compared to the Sigma 16mm, we'll do OSS on and off to see what it looks like vlogging, and we'll just overall get a better picture of what this lens looks like in some real life conditions. So just out with, we've got the Sony 18-105 clipped up. Taking my dog out for a walk as well, but she's not really enjoying it. She wants to go back home. So the light's just starting to fade. We've got the 18-105 on the camera. OSS is turned on. We're at 1/50th of a second. f4, and ISO is about 1600. So what does it look like? How does the sort of audio sound? Not that it really matters, I guess. Say hi, Molly. Molly. There she is. So yeah, picture looks pretty good out the front. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the Sigma 16mm. So we're going to shoot wide open at 1.4, but without OSS. So let's see how what that looks like in these conditions as we're just losing the light. So we're now on the Sigma 16mm with no optical steady shot, f1.4, and the ISO is down to the minimum of S-Log2, which is 500. So to be honest, I look slightly still overexposed. I could probably put a little bit of an ND filter on this. It's not super dark yet, the sun is going down, it's nearly 8 o'clock here in the UK, but I mean, yeah, this could definitely go on for a lot longer. You could turn the aperture down, but you don't have the steady shot, so I guess it depends what you're after, what you want, and ideally the versatility. I mean, even in this light, I've not checked back the footage, but just on the viewfinder on top of my A6400, the 18-105 at f4 looked like it was holding up pretty well. But let's get back inside, put them side by side, let's check it out. So I've just finished looking over the footage of both the vlog tests with the Sony 18-105 and then the Sigma 16mm. Impressed by both lenses, but in different ways. If we start with the Sigma, the 16mm, it's beautifully wide for vlogging, it's fantastic, super wide. You get yourself, your subject, if you've got someone else in the subject, you've got a lovely wide field of view for anything in the background, if you're walking somewhere nice, or the city, or the country, whatever, you can get it all in and immerse that into your vlog. You've got the f1.4, so the low light capability is fantastic, the bokeh looks incredible, you're really popping out, you're really standing out from the background, which is probably almost in a vlog what you want people concentrating on you. So yeah, really enjoyed those bits about it. Negative, with me using a Sony a6400, no IBIS built into the camera, and obviously we've got no stabilization in the lens either. So those micro jitters are present, and for me, while you've got all those other beautiful things going on, so you've got the bokeh and you've got a great low light performance and it's super wide, fantastic, but if you're trying to watch something and it's jittering around, to me that it kind of puts a sour taste on those other great features. Now, if we move over to the Sony lens, the 18-105, that is not so great at low light, being only f4. I mean, last night when I recorded those little mini vlogs just to test, the 1.4 of the Sigma was overexposed. I needed an ND filter or to knock it down. I reckon sort of if I stepped down sort of 2.8 probably would have been fantastic. The Sony was at its limit, so really any darker, the ISO would have been pushed up super high, start to get grainy footage, not what we want. Also 18mm, it's just a little too narrow, and I think with the stabilization it's even narrower because it crops in onto that. So it's, I don't know the exact figure, but it's probably something like 20mm once it crops in. So I was using this Manfrotto little tripod, I think it's called the Pixie Evo, I think. So I was handheld sort of, what, 2 feet, arm's length away. And the Sigma was obviously noticeably nicer, but the footage was super smooth on the Sony. And I think that wins it. Without having a gimbal, myself having a small enough gimbal, should I say, I've got a DJI Ronin SC, far too big and heavy to be vlogging with, just not practical. You need one of the newer, I think it's a Zhiyun Crane M3, I think it is. That's a new super small gimbal that can even carry full frame. So great bit of kit, but obviously more money. If you need something lightweight and travel, I think Sony's probably the way to go. Or if you have a 6500 or 6600 with the IBIS built in, then there's a potential that the Sigma won't work better for you. But for me, in my scenario, to be honest, I think I just want to get something, another little tripod, so I could just hold the camera a little bit further away with the 18mm, and then I think we'd be perfect. So to wrap it up, my conclusion, my thoughts, when I first got the lens, I was really amongst the thought of it's a jack of all trades, master of none, which I think, reflecting on it now, is a little bit harsh. The lens is very good at video. I really do like the power zoom, the level of which you can zoom, so you can go nice and slowly, you can go faster, medium, you've got great control. If you want a manual zoom as well, you can. That's really good. The focal length is amazing. I mean, I don't know any other APS-C lens that can go from 18 to 105. I mean, you can get bigger lenses, say 100 to 400, but going this wide open at 18mm all the way zoomed into 105, I don't think there's anything else like it. It's not too heavy, it's got great build quality. Mine is actually, if you can see, got like a carbon fibre skin on it. Let me put my head away, there you go. So it's got a carbon fibre skin on it, which I think looks great actually. It was just to take away some of the nicks and scrapes it's got. I mean, this lens is years old now, and I still enjoy it now. It's been around since the early 2012, 2013 it was released, something like that, and it's still a great second-hand buy now. I mean, brand new, it's currently £420, I believe, which I think's great value considering Sigma primes for the 16-50 are around the 350 quid mark. So for the extra 70 quid, I do think you get a lot more of your lens. Yes, the Sigma outshines it in terms of low light and in terms of the bokeh. So photography, it's a better lens. But for video, I actually think this is a better lens, especially with the OSS if you're vlogging. No brainer. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you own this lens? You're thinking of picking it up? I'll leave all links to what I've talked about down in the description. Give us a thumbs up, really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, would love to do that too. I think I'm on 99 now, close up to that 100, so that's pretty exciting. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.